WOAY ABC4 Community Forum, where we talk to community leaders and local success stories to discuss important information that affects all of us here in Southern West Virginia. I'm your host, Brandy Lawrence, and today we are joined by another distinguished guest, Tawana Warner, who is the sexual assault advocate for AWAY, also known as Advocating AWAY for Adults and Youth, joins us this morning. Thank you so much for coming to the forum.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, definitely.
It's a pleasure.
Definitely. And for the people out there that are not familiar with AWAY and what you do as a sexual assault advocate, can you kind of give them an overview of that?
Yes, with being a sexual assault advocate, we're able to go to the hospital if the client needs to do the medical exam. We're able to go to court, help them with domestic violence petitions. We also go out and do community awareness. We're just able to be with the victim through the start and to the end of their case, criminal, civil, and legal.
Yeah. And how does someone contact a sexual assault advocate if they need one?
Well, you can. We have a website, and you can call our our hotline number is 304-255-2559, or you can contact us by awaywestvirginia.org.
And let's see. As an advocate, how did you get into this line of work? I know it can be a little heavy, so.
Well, actually, when I applied for the job, I really didn't know what the job detailed in. I just seen the ad in the newspaper, and my background is criminal justice, and I really wanted to work in my field. So I applied for the job, and then I'm here 15 later doing this. So yeah, to do this job, you have to be very passionate because it takes patience. And some of the cases with sexual assault may take several years before it gets up to the court system. So it's just dealing with that person for a long time. So mainly with this job, you need a lot of patience.
Definitely. And, April Sexual Assault Month coming up, a Sexual Assault Awareness Month coming up. What type of things, do you have anything planned for that as a
Yes, well, my main project I'll be doing is called a Clothes for Home. And what that is that we will have a bag of clothes that are at the hospital, and they'll have like sweatpants, t-shirt, underwear, bra, or socks, things like that, so that whenever the victim leaves the hospital, they're not leaving in scrubs, so they can leave feeling better about themselves instead of just being in clothes that remind them of having that exam done or what happened to them. So we want them to leave feeling better about themselves, because it's a difficult incident to go through. It's very traumatic. So sometimes having that shirt on represents that I'm leaving and I'm not a victim, like I'm a survivor now. So yeah.
It's something that people really, I guess, don't think about, and something I've never really registered is, these sort of things that could be triggers.
Yes.
The assault. And let's see, is there any way that, the community could, help out with what you all do at AWAY?
Yes, we all the time need donations. Sometimes you can volunteer by calling our office. And the main thing is, if something does happen to somebody, just believe in them, because that's the main thing. A lot of people don't get believed that this happened to me. So, sometimes it deters them from reporting. So we want you to report, because we want to help you and your family, not just the primary victim, but the secondary victim and the rest of the family. Because sometimes the secondary victim doesn't know what to do or how to cope with it as well either. So we can give coping skills so that you can help your family member to help heal them during this process. So that's what we would like to do.
And what type of coping skills do you suggest for people that have been through that experienced that trauma?
Well, main thing is we want you to get counseling. And then after that, then, listen to your counselor. And then sometimes, you can do just like certain techniques as far as breathing techniques, journaling. Sometimes just being around your family members and being together, or even sometimes just having a family dinner, that may help, because it brings you together with that person and the rest of the family. And a lot of times you just talk about it. That's the main thing. You don't want to keep it in.
And I know that sometimes with sexual assault, it's a delicate, topic. And sometimes there's some people out there that don't know what actually constitutes sexual assault. So for those people that may have realized at a certain time that they may have engaged in sexual contact with somebody that they weren't really consenting to, how do you kind of talk to them, those people that are kind of coming to terms with the fact that they may have been assaulted but didn't know at first? Can you kind of help them out as well?
Sure. Well, that is a good question, because a lot of times, a lot of people don't know what sexual assault is. Because, I mean, it can be partner on partner, it can be a stranger, it can be an acquaintance of, someone that you know from next door. It can also be a family member, and I mean, it could be your spouse. So sometimes people think that just because they decide to get engaged in these sexual activities that it's okay. But if you say no and you don't want to do it, that constitutes sexual assault without giving consent. So that is what sexual assault is.
And what's, a misconception that you usually see in your line of work about sexual assault?
Most of the time it is, partner or your spouse, that once you give in, even though you did not want to, that is okay, and it's not, and that's considered a sexual assault. So that's what we get a lot of times, like, I just did it because I wanted to, just to get it over with. Well, no, you were forced to do it, so, and you did not really consent, so that is considered sexual assault.
It's coercion.
Yeah, coercion, yes, coercion.
And, are there any, with your program that you're starting with the clothing, is there any way that, the public can help? Can we donate to help buy clothes and things for them, or?
Oh, yes, you can help. You can donate with clothes, and sometimes people just give money to help with donations so we can go out and buy it. But we have this program going on in all 4 of our counties: Raleigh, Fayette, Nicholas, and Summers. So you can contact either one of the local outreach offices. You can contact our main office that's in Beckley, and just tell them, hey, I want to donate to the Clothes for Home project, and that's how you can do the donations. Yeah, and they'll be at the local hospitals, so when you show up, they're already there. So yeah, so we get the donations, make the bags, and then we take them to the hospital. So yeah.
So they'll just have them, on hand for anyone who needs them.
Yes, they're on hand as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And let's see. If there's anything else that I had to say. Sometimes I'll get lost in my questions. As an advocate, what is something that the general public needs to know about sexual assault awareness, to really just to be aware that this is a problem?
I mean, as far as that goes with that question, a lot of people ask that question, but what you really need to know is that it's your body, and that you are in control of your body. And if you say no, or if there's anything that you do not want to do, that's your choice. That you should not be forced to do something that you do not want to do. And that if that does happen, there are people out here that are willing to help you through this process. And that, the people that work for us, we love our job. And we're also on call 24/7. There's somebody there to help. So if you get called out at 2 o'clock in the morning and have to go, we're there with you. We love what we do, and we want to be there to help you. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we go to webinars, trainings, we work together as a team. So when that kicks in, it's like when you get an arm broke or something and you go to the emergency room, we're right there with you. And that's what we want to do, to let you know that we're here for you.
And you're with them through the entire process?
The entire process, from start to end. Like, from once you enter the system to once you finish with a criminal hearing, we're there with you. So yeah.
And what about, after sometimes? Because I know that a lot of these cases, sometimes they're not prosecuted to the fullest, extent that they should be. And sometimes these people don't get justice. So what does that kind of look like afterwards? Well,
let me explain that for something. Because sometimes justice for you as the victim may not be justice for a family member. Mm-hmm. So when I talk to my victim, I always ask them, which I call them a survivor or a client, I always ask them, what do you want to see out of this? Like, even if this does not get prosecuted, well, what is it that you want out of this? And a lot of times, sometimes they just want to be heard. They just want to know that, this did happen, and it's acknowledged. And also, they want the coping skills to help out so they can cope with this. And so a lot of times it's that victim's justice. It's not what people around them see what should be justice. So you have to ask them that question.
Gotcha. That's definitely interesting, because where everybody immediately thinks, just lock this person up and that will be the end of it. But as you said, a lot of these survivors, they're dealing with this for the rest of their lives. So
yes,
those coping mechanisms, can really help.
It is, yeah. And I mean, I've had a client that I worked with for like 7 years, and we're still working on coping, because I mean, it happened afterwards, but she did not report when it happened, but also she reported later on, but she acknowledged that I need these skills and I want to become, and also it's like it's a part of you, so you have to learn how to cope with it as well. So they end up, I can do this, I'm a survivor, or I can go to the store now, I can be at this restaurant, or it's okay if I smell that perfume or cologne, I'm okay now. So yeah.
And so you do recommend that, survivors of no matter how long it happened, they do come forward and at least, reach out.
Yes, yes. Yeah, reach out, please, because you do need to be able to learn how to heal.
Definitely.
And move forward.
That's wonderful. And, we're, as I said, Sexual Assault Awareness Month and things like that. What are things that people can do to, really amplify, this cause and raise awareness, in the community?
I mean, you can contact us, because I mean, we have things going on throughout the month, and also we deal with sexual assault every day. So that doesn't mean that you just have to acknowledge it that month. Like, we have things going on throughout the year that you can help with. But a lot of times, it's like I said before, it's just believing in that person, and also acknowledging that it does happen in our counties in West Virginia. I mean, you never know who's going to be a survivor. And a lot of people don't want to talk about sexual assault because it's difficult. But I mean, you need to teach your child at a young age about their body and their body parts. And so that they're able to understand that when they get older, that this is my body and you're not able to touch it because it's mine, unless I give you consent. So, I mean, teaching them boundaries. I mean, because sexual assault is something that goes on every day. And I mean, we need our community, our families need to know about this, because I mean, I can be honest with you, I've had a family member that just now disclosed to me about something that happened to her as a child. And I mean, I used to ask her, like, why did you not want to go to this place with us? And she'd just say no. But after she explained to me, I understood, because that's where this incident happened to her at. And I mean, she's up in her 80s. So I mean, they disclose at any time of their life. As long as we're there with them and we believe it, then we can help them out.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, and we are wrapping up on our first half, but before we go, can you sort of, plug the contact information?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, I mean, if you need to reach us, our phone number is 304-255-2559. And our website is away, and it's wv.org. And that's how you can contact us, and we'll be there to help you at any time of the day or night. And thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, that concludes our first half with Tawana Warner, sexual assault advocate for Away. And come back for the next half where we will talk to the executive director of Away. All right.
All right.
Welcome back to Community Forum. This time I am here with Erin Jones. She is the Assistant Executive Director of Away. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Of course. We're excited to have you. And, just for the people out there who may not be aware of everything that Away does, we talked about sexual assault in our first half. What other resources does Away offer?
So Away works with anyone who has experience, either primary, they're the person who experienced it themselves, or if maybe they're a family member or friend and their friend has experienced it, their family member has experienced it. We work with domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and stalking are our primary focuses. Obviously, you're welcome to reach out to us for anything, and if we can give you a resource, we will. We work in Raleigh, Fayette, Nicholas, and Summers counties. But again, if you're outside of our service area, that's okay, because the whole state has a group that work together on all of these things. We have rape crisis centers that cover every county in the state of West Virginia, and we have domestic violence shelters that work in every county in the entire state. So if you are from West Virginia and you're like, I don't know who to call, it's not Ghostbusters, it's us. We will help you find the right person to get in contact with that's gonna know your area, know your laws, and be able to work with you through your entire process of whatever it is. Whether you wanna go with a legal case, whether you just wanna talk to somebody and see what your options are, because that is one thing we don't do. We don't make decisions for people. We don't tell them what to do. Everything is led by the people that need our help. We give you the options and you get to make the decision of what's best for you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And we were talking a little bit, during the break and everything about an upcoming event. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So we have CausaCon coming up at the end of April. We're so excited. It's a 3-day pop culture event, okay? We have panels, we have celebrity guests, we have events going on the entire weekend. We have an amazing vendor room. It's gonna be held at the Beckley Raleigh County Convention Center. So some people might remember it as the Armory back in the day, but we literally take over basically the entire building, and we have events going on with people who come from out of state to hold events and hold different, we have a group that does, you build your own foam weaponry and then you can battle it out much safer because it's foam. So obviously no violence really is committed, I want to point out. But it is such a fun event, and if you are into any type of pop culture thing, if you're a Marvel fan, DC, you like anime, you like video games, this is for you. We have people dress up, they come, like I said, from all over the state. We have people from out of state who come to this event. It is absolutely amazing. Tickets are on sale now at causacon.com, and you can do a weekend pass, be there all 3 days, come for 1 day, and we still have a few VIP gold passes left, which gets you a couple extra perks. So you get into the vendor room early. It comes with a t-shirt, comes with some specialty posters. I got to pick those up the other day. They're very cool. And you're the only one who gets it if you're a VIP gold person. We're not selling those. You have a specialty items that are just for you. So we have a lot going on, and what's great is all the proceeds from this event go to our organization to help us help the people that suffer from domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, or stalking, and all of that money goes straight to them for what they need. So it might be things our grants don't cover, like beds. If you move out, you come to us with nothing, because we do have a shelter. If you come to us with nothing, we're going to make sure that you are able to actually stand on your own when you leave, and that sometimes is getting you some of those home goods that aren't covered by grants and things like that.
Oh, that's great. And what is the date on the CausaCon?
Yes, so it's April 28th, 29th, and 30th. And like I said, it's going on pretty much all day, for all those days, but some of us don't sleep and we love it. It's such an amazing event. Last year I was not prepared because it was my first year. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my goodness, I wasn't ready. But I'm so ready this year and I'm so excited about it. It's going to be such a good event. We have some amazing voice characters for anyone who might be Pokemon fans. And we have some voice characters from Pokemon coming as well. So it's going to be a great event.
Well, I will definitely be there.
We would love to
I
have
do love
you.
everything pop culture, and I love doing things for a great cause. So
awesome.
And you guys be there too. So.
Yeah, and dress up because we have some amazing costumes. There's a cosplay contest, so no matter what you're into, you're gonna find some people who connect with you there. We actually have a couple that met the first year of CausaCon, got engaged at CausaCon last year.
I might know who that is, actually.
Really?
So we might have to talk about that after.
We'll have to talk about this after, absolutely, because I don't want to out anybody, that's their business. But it was so cool that it had such an impact in their relationship and their lives that's where they kind of connected and found people that think like them, have interests like they do, and that's such an amazing thing about it too. So we really see it as a community outreach as well, because we're not just doing this for a good cause for us, which is amazing and obviously enough reason, but it's great because it gives our community, people who maybe don't always know where to go to find people who like the things that they like, kind of that nice outlet, because they're like, wait a second, there's a ton of people that love what I like, love what I love. Let me go meet them. It's such a great event.
Oh, wonderful. And, is there any way that, the community could help out with the event? Do you all need any volunteers?
Volunteer, please. You can reach us at 304-255-2559. Ask for me, Erin Jones, or you can reach out to us on causacon.com. There's a place that you can fill out the volunteer kind of information so that we can reach out to you as well. If you're someone who's like, I don't love the phone, that's another great way to reach out to us, because I understand not everyone's like, I like text. It's not for everyone.
So what kind of inspired this event, CausaCon, to do, something fun for something that, can be really serious?
So there were a lot of people who were involved in kind of the beginnings of CausaCon, and a mom, I think it was a mom specifically. I got the story last year, and so if I tell it slightly wrong, I'm so sorry. But she was talking about, she'd seen all these Comic-Cons, and she thought it'd be amazing to do something like that in our communities. And one of the people that she had kind of mentioned this to worked for our organization, helped out with us, and did a lot of fundraising for us. And she was like, wait a second, let's hit two birds with one stone and go ahead and do this event. And this is the organization who can sponsor it and make sure it gets done and do it in a really creative, amazing way. So we were really excited to be a part of it, and now it's fifth year. Wow. We've been doing it for 5 years. Took a couple years off there for COVID, but we are back and we're ready to go. Last year was our first year back, and we're ready to keep going again this year.
That was actually going to be my next question. How did COVID kind of affect that?
We were closed. We kind of had to shut it down for a couple of years there just for safety, and we have so many people who come out, and I kind of joke that a lot of these costumes end up with masks already, so they were kind of half prepared because they already had masks. But for everybody's safety, we did take a couple of years off. Last year was our first year back after COVID. It was our biggest year we've ever had, so we're excited that this year already is looking like we're hoping to surpass last year. We want it to always get bigger and better because we do think it's such a great event. It's fun. You're not going to be necessarily bombarded with a lot of our information. It'll be there, it'll be available if you're someone who needs us, obviously, but it's really just a fun event.
And what was the estimated turnout last year?
Ooh, I think we ended up around 1,500 people. It was awesome. So we're hoping to bump that up a little bit more. I know just Saturday, single day passes was over 600 people. And that doesn't include our weekends or VIP passes. So that was such a fun realization to have, that this event had grown to the point where people really love and enjoy it and look forward to it every year. Take days off work and you're like, wait, what? This is so cool that you guys are support us and support our organization and this event so much. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And you still have over a month, we got some more people coming through, and anybody who's watching this, inspired to come by as well, because it sounds like a great event.
It is absolutely so much fun, and you can learn more about it on the website for CausaCon, and you can learn more about the panels, and we do tabletop games. So if you're someone who likes Magic or D&D, all of that, we have space for you. You are welcome. We have a board game room. If you're just classic board games, Life and Monopoly, we have classic board games room, and we do, like I said, panels. Last year we had an amazing murder mystery situation that was absolutely incredible. I mean, there were people running around wait, and we'll also have the ribbon game again this year. So if you don't know what that is, different people, on your badge, people will get these little ribbons and you trade them. Sometimes you might have to do a little task for them. I know our other organizer of the event, Desiree, she has so much information on CausaCon's Facebook and stuff. If you're looking for stuff, she'll explain it. She explains it great. But you have to find her and give her a little salute, and then you get your ribbon. So you might have a little fun task to do. You might have, it might be a trade, but you want to see basically how many ribbons you can get and how far it goes. And we had some people with a lot of ribbons last year, so it's a fun way to you get to see the whole event because you're tracking. And you're like, on the hunt for everybody and like out looking for them, but it's such a fun way to engage. And you do end up meeting people because you're just kind of like, hey, wait, you have a ribbon. I want it. How do I get this? Let's talk. So there's some fun stuff with that going on too.
And what's your favorite feature of the CausaCon? Like, what's your favorite part?
The costumes.
Costumes.
Oh, they're amazing. Last year I saw someone who was a centaur and literally had built the back of a horse that went out and was on wheels so it could follow them through the event.
Wow.
It was amazing. I was like, the creativity and the commitment to this costume was just next level. I thought I loved costumes and dressing up and stuff. I felt a little, I was like, I need to up my game next year. So this year we're upping our game. We're going to have some new ideas going around.
And is there a contest for best costume?
There is. You can sign up for the cosplay contest. Again, more information is on our Facebook for CausaCon and on the website.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. And let's see. Are there any, other additional, resources or things that, that the OA offers that people may not know about? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So if basically we have our advocates who help you, like Tawana said, through an entire process. You can reach out to us when it happens, when it does, if it's years later, we're going to be able to work with you through whatever you decide you want the process to be, whether that's a legal process, helping you through a medical process, moving out and getting to a safe place where you are able to be back on your own and things like that. But we also work with so many of our community partners. We work with our CACs, which is our child advocacy centers. So we work with them, we work with our schools, we work with our hospitals. We have so many resources. So even if we're not the ones who do what you need, you can reach out to us and we're gonna be able to refer you to those people and say, hey, that's not our specialty, that's not our area of expertise, but we know who is, and we're going to be able to get you with those people. So even if you're not sure, you're like, maybe this isn't their cup of tea, maybe this isn't their area of expertise, reach out to us because we can probably direct you where you need to go and get you to the correct person in your area that's going to be able to assist you with whatever it is that you need. So maybe we're not the right fit, but maybe you need legal aid. We got legal aid, like we can contact them and get you in with them. We can get you in with these different people, and it's great because we work so well together and we have such good connections with these different places that they refer people to us, but we can refer them out to them as well if that we're not the right fit, or if we are the right fit and they just need additional services we don't provide.
wonderful, wonderful. And you, I was speaking with Tawana, the sexual assault advocates, they work with these people throughout their, their entire journey. Does that apply to the, the families that come here on behalf of, a victim or survivors?
Yeah,
as well?
absolutely. Anyone who kind of needs our services. So we work with primary victims, so it's the person that it actually happened to, and we work with what we call secondary victims. So that can be, like I said, the family members, that can be the friends, people who are impacted by this violence, but may not be the target of the violence. So especially when you're talking a sexual assault or domestic violence case, or stalking, they start following them and things like that, that can impact family as well. So we work with those people as well through their journey, because maybe the victim is not ready they're not ready yet. It's not their time. And that's absolutely fine, but we can still work with the families as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for coming today. This wraps up our community forum for today. But once again, thank you to Tawana and Aaron from Away and the important work that they do for our community. And you guys be sure to tune in next week to the next community forum. Have a good Sunday.